Yo fam, welcome back to the show. We know that FOMC is happening today because that's probably every single show that you watch today is going to talk about FOMC. So I thought I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle and just look at the fact that there is one thing that not a lot of people either understand or talk about, and that is the dot plot. So we know that it's going to be a nothing burger. Like today's FOMC, it's going to be a complete nothing burger. With 99% probability there will be no rate cuts. If there was gonna be, I mean, we will pop champagne and just come back here and just got completely, euphoric, but it's not gonna happen. Most likely, there's a 99% chance that there is not gonna be a rate cut. But there is this one thing which is called the dot plot that is super relevant and can actually change everything. I'm not saying it can change everything when it comes to crypto because obviously it's macro driven, but it will have a major impact if the dot plot comes in great. We're looking at two things today. They are very well connected. One is how many cuts this year, and that will obviously be coming from dot plot cluster sub 375. And if this whole thing is completely foreign to you and you don't know what they are, well, this show is for you because I'm going to boil it down. I'm going to tell you why this thing is relevant, how you can read it, and how you can actually take action on it, and what you should be doing if you are following the market or if you want to trade. Guys, if you are here, let me know in the chat. My name is Fefe. If you don't know who I am, I'll bring you the best alpha every single day here from the past 24 hours for the next 24 hours. Trades, news, and everything else that you need to understand. Okay, cool. What's going on? 𝗙𝗘𝗙𝗙𝗙 like the new tool. So 𝗙𝗘𝗙, if you just want to know, 𝗙𝗘𝗙 is already has his bigger weenie, so he's over the surgery. Happily, he is good. If you just missed the plot, 𝗙𝗙𝗙 is not here. Unfortunately, he had a small surgery on his weenie, and it's quarter of a size of mine. So he's happy now. He's over it. Everything is good. He's gonna lay down for like a week or two, and he's gonna be back here with us. 151 in here with 29 likes. Yes, please, guys, smash the like as well. Appreciate if you do. MSS on grass. Yes, a bunch of MSS, and we killed it. We killed it. I'm going to talk about this. I'm not going to start with this, but like yesterday, I gave you these trades on the show yesterday. And I said I'm taking them. And if you took it, I'm so happy. If you didn't, well, I don't know what you're doing. Just subscribe to the channel. Follow me on X. There's a link in the description. And let me just jump back into the show here. Now, I want to start with, let's understand what the Fed is, okay? Very shortly. And again, for those of you who are familiar with this, well, bear with me for 2 minutes because there will be something for you as well. The Federal Reserve System is the central bank of the United States. Well, it's a privately owned institution. Anyway, I don't want to go to the tinfoil hat part, but what you have to understand that they basically control the money supplies. If you scroll lower here, the U.S. central banking system, the Federal Reserve, or the Fed, is the most powerful economic institution in the United States. They basically control how the money flows, how interest rates are going to be, how much money is issued. Everything related to the economy is dependent on the Fed. Okay, now they have members. There are 19 different members. 12 of those are Federal Reserve Bank's presidents, and 7 of those are the chair, or 7 of those are governors that are in the Fed. The Fed board, sorry. The Fed board members. So these 19 people get together and then they discuss things, and then they have their projections, and they, all that stuff. They discuss about how this thing can be better, okay? How can they, not wreck the economy? What do they have to do to have interest rates down? What do they have to do to have inflation down? And all that stuff. They have these meetings that they discuss this on. Now, last year and every single year, I think it's like 8 times. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly. They meet 8 times every single year. You can see every result of it. They have these minutes that they publish and they put it out and they go, okay, we've been debating about this, and some people said this, and it's like the whole stuff that you actually don't want to know anything about, but it is relevant. And now this year, January, we had an FOMC again. Rates remained unchanged. And March, which is happening today, we do have the results coming out of the meeting from yesterday and today. And every FOMC, you probably know there is a press conference, and that press conference happens. But there's one thing that is also super relevant, and that is that they have something called the dot plot. And they put this dot plot out at every quarter. So we had one last year in March, one in June, one in September, one in December. And they put this out, and the 19 members project what is going to happen in their opinion with interest rates in the coming year and the following 2-3 years and long term. Okay, that's basically what it is. The dot plot is as it says, it records the Fed officials' projection for the central bank's key short-term interest rate, federal fund rate. So this is how it looks. You might have heard this, but again, I just want to clear this out for everybody because this is super, super important for today. So you look at this and you go like, what on earth is this? Well, very simply put, this is the projection for the next years of the Fed officials. This is from December, okay? So how does it work? Here down, you see the years, okay? So this is 2024, this is 2025, this is 2026, 2027, and long run. And then all these little dots here are an opinion of one specific Fed member out of the 19. So if you count, there's 19 dots. If you see here, these are the federal fund rate percentages. And it's marked by 0.5%, and they plot a dot or put a dot at the point where they think inflation will be at the end of 2025, at the end of 2026, at the end of 2027, so on, so on. And so this is very important for everybody to understand where the Fed's mind is at. So they have to understand how these 19 people think about the economy and what they see based on the data that they have. Because if more Fed members, obviously they vote on this, they debate this, and they vote on the fact what should be the interest rate. And so more Fed members believe interest rates should be lower, the probability of the rate cuts increase the same way. So if the members who vote for it think that it should be lower, it will be lower. It's proven. So 2024, last year, it was marked in at 4 to 4.5, which is what we have, okay? They marked in about 4 by the end of the year. They marked in between 3.75 and 4. That is what they marked in. I think it was December. Let me just look back here. I think the last dot plot was December, exactly. So this is what they priced in, or this is what they plotted. This is what they thought was going to be. Now, why is this relevant, and why is this the one thing that we actually are going to look at today? Because if the dot plot comes in lower than 375, which will result in probably more rate cuts, they could potentially cut it all at one, but most likely it's going to be at least 3 cuts, which is not what is priced in now. What is priced in is 2 rate cuts for the year. That is very, very bullish for the economy for a couple of reasons. One, it means that it means that the Fed is achieving its target, okay? Why they were achieving their target, you can say Trump, you can say whatever you want, but the fact is that they are bringing inflation down. CPI reading was great. They will see the data is, cooling off. They will say Trump's impact, and they will say, okay, well, it is actually time for us to cut at least 2-3 times this year, okay? So if we see the dot plot cluster, which means like the most amount of projections, the dots, the most amount of dots in a column, okay, or in a line, is coming in below 375, meaning it comes in between 3.5 or sub 3.5, that is very, 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 very bullish. So you can have these documents on the page on the Fed's page, and when it comes out, you can open this, and this is page 4. But actually, the best place to look at is go into Bento Bubbles, and then you can just go into the newsroom, and it is going to be here. I actually posted this just now. I look fancy here. How good I look here. Let me give myself a clap. How good I look here. I didn't even know this was going to be. Why it's not it's so weird. Okay, anyway, I look decent. I'm a little pixelated, just like an ordinal here, but it's good. So you can come in here to the newsroom, and you can actually just see, someone will definitely post it in here whenever that happens. You can also find it on phone. It's actually a free tool. You probably know already. We implemented stocks, which is quite good. What did NVIDIA do, by the way? It's 1.3%. Did it go for... okay. So it had a little bit of dippy after this whole announcement or whole conference, which is normal. But it's up 1.3%. It's not bad at all. So as you see, you can do stocks as well. Okay, let me get back here because this is relevant. So once you know what the dot plot is, you can open this up, or you can go onto my page. I'll post about this. And when we know what it is, you can have an idea about where the Fed's mind at. Now, if it comes in lower, that is obviously a very, very good sign, because if it comes in lower and that means that the projection comes in lower, that means we're going to have more cuts than predicted. And therefore, more cuts mean sooner reduction of interest rates, which means sooner quantitative easing, okay? Which means quantitative easing, which I'm going to show you in a second what it is really, but which means more money in the economy. So 3 cuts, meaning sub 375 most likely on the dot plot, is going to be extremely bullish. The market will rally hard. Now, we're going to talk about it in another show, maybe tomorrow, but I'm not sure this is the bottom. Okay, don't misunderstand me and don't say, but Fefe told us if it comes in at 375, we go. No, that's not what it means. What it means is that if we come in at sub 375, we have a very good possibility of a reversal short term. Okay, so it's very important, short term. 2 rate cuts similar before, market is flat. This is, I agree with this. However, I also think that the conference, yes, the speech, he will have a speech, JP will have a speech, the chairman will have a speech, and that speech conference will be very relevant to see whether they stop quantitative tightening, whether they start quantitative easing, what is really going to happen here. And then if it's 1 rate cut, meaning the dot plot comes in at or above 375, we're screwed. That's just gonna put another massive selling pressure onto the market, especially in crypto. So it will not be good. Now, based on my understanding and based on my analysis and everything that I see, I do think that we are going to get either a flat one, meaning that it's going to come in at about two, so it's not going to change what it was, which is not that bad. But I don't see us going like to 1 cut. I don't really see us having a very bad result either. I just wanted to jump in here. Let's just finish this off here. And so why is this important? Is because more rate cuts means more money injected. It will be cheaper to borrow. People will borrow much more money. Much more money borrowed will mean much more money spent, and much more money spent will be much more money available for investments, for example, into risk assets, for example, into crypto. So Powell, Jerome Powell, who is the chairman of the Fed, said that he would use quantitative easing, meaning it's not tightening the economy, but easing the financials, meaning injecting money into the economy, once rates are at 0. Now, I don't believe this. That's one. I don't believe this is true because rates will not go to 0 in a very long time. And I do think that there will be quantitative easing happening because of Trump, because of everything else that's going on. So anyway, but he said that he would use quantitative easing only when rates are at 0. Now, here is the important and interesting part. Interesting part is that the Fed, the poly market at a 6.2 million bet. This is quite crazy. Projects at 100% that the Fed will add quantitative tightening before May. Now, let's not forget that May, this is what do we have here? This is the last meeting before May. So if it doesn't end now, this thing is going to 0. Let me just see, what is the outcome? If this market will absorb, yes, if the US Federal Reserve increases the amount of securities it holds outright week over week by April 30. Okay, yeah. Okay, so anyway, so there is quite a, it's again, I just see it already that it's gonna be a controversial one, but anyway, there is a 100% chance on quantitative tightening, end of quantitative tightening. And then quantitative easing can start. And we talk a lot about quantitative easing, and I tell you that it's injection into the economy and whatnot. But I want you to listen to this. This is such a funny, TJ found our researcher found this is such a funny way to understand quantitative easing. It's super cool. So listen to this.
Sure. I mean, I won't go into a lot of details, just right at detail, that'll be indiscreet, but this will give you an idea of how quantitative easing works.
Yep.
Take printer out of box and place on table with the out tray facing the window.
The out tray facing the window.
That's right. Load paper into the paper receptacle and place currency on glass tray F.
Right.
Check alignment by printing out a test page.
Right.
Go into copy settings and select double-sided and the number of copies you require.
How many would you suggest?
In the case of one of our clients, it's 80 billion. 120 billion in the case of another client, and one client was a trillion of these.
This is a common
printers to do that.
No, you can't. You're going to need a bank of them. I mean, it's a
You need some
multi-printer
big
job.
ones, wouldn't you?
Big industrial strength.
Yeah.
Big like a Bofors gun, all facing the window.
Yeah.
Once you've ascertained that you have the alignment correct, you alert the banking sector, open the window, and press copy.
And stand well back.
Yes, you've got to stand well back because they can create a bit of a vacuum while reaching cruising height.
Whereabouts?
in the super fund industry very often.
And you'd have to consider the wind direction too,
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
be doing this upwind.
No, because you get covered in pretend money, couldn't you?
Covered in what?
Pretend money.
No, this is not pretend money. This is real currency.
Listen to this. Listen to
You're
this.
just printing it off. I mean, these are photocopies, aren't they?
Excuse me. Dave, this is not going to work. Because I've just explained it to a bloke and he saw through it straight away. Are you in banking?
No.
No, he's not even in the banking racket. Okay, I'll try that.
Try what?
Have you ever heard of Rumpelstiltskin?
No.
So anyway, so the funny bit here is funny all those is that, so the funny bit here is that quantitative easing is basically printing money, and everybody will be very happy about printing money because it's gonna be, you know, good for the economy. But the fact is, if I have, I don't even know what I can show you, but let's say I have this, you know, I have these little magnetic things that Ren made me addicted to. Anyway, so if you have one of these, that's kind of valuable because let's say this is a pearl or something, right? This is one. It's very cool. And for this one pearl, I can exchange my entire computer, right? Because that's how much valuable it is. If I add two of it, if I add another one to it, that will be two. And the problem is that one is still will be worth one computer. So you go in here and you start diluting this thing, and at some point, this will become absolutely invaluable because I'll be like, okay, now you have like, if there is only 50, fine. If there's only 100, fine. If there's 1,000, fine. But when there is billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions, then it becomes worthless and dilutes the value of your money. But the reason why we degens need it is because Bitcoin performs extremely well in an environment like this. Why? Because the dollar is getting devalued, okay? So I'm actually super excited for quantitative easing, whatever that is, but it's literally just putting it in a printer, opening up the window, and then just simply printing money out of the window and just, you know, throwing it out to people who will be very happy about it. How to convince my father to buy Bitcoin? Very simple. Now listen to this. Bitcoin dead off. Block Explorer is dead. Block Explorer is dead. Listen here. Bitcoin is the only decentralized network in the world that was able to get to world dominance where it's at, being recognized by the President of the United States and being implemented as an asset, a reserve asset for the largest government on the planet. And all this without any centralized entity or marketing. It was one computer, then two computers, then 10 computers, then 20 computers, all the way through the fact that it became an unchangeable distributed ledger that then being recognized by millions and millions of people and governments. So if you don't want to invest in that, well, then just don't. We need something that cannot be debased. Any ideas? I like it. Okay, guys, I want to tell you a couple of things. One is, how on earth can it happen that we've got 816 people watching this show and only 176 likes? I would normally say, cuz, check if the button works, but he's probably laying in bed. So can someone just check if the button works? Like, I don't even know how this is even possible. Like the show, please. Second, I wanted to tell you that you have to follow me on X. Okay, this is literally the best thing you can do on today. Go on there. There's a link in the description. I'll share with you everything about the FOMC as well, but I share with you trades and stuff. Which again, I just want to brag about this. I'm gonna go and brag now. So it's gonna be bragging time for anybody who is wondering. It's gonna be bragging time because I want to take credit for the stuff. Like I'm giving you everything on a silver platter for free. Maybe sometimes I ask for some likes. That's it, but nothing else. So do that. And yeah, let me just jump in here before I do anything and just talk about the fact that these are the trades that I talked yesterday. So let me just see if you guys took the trades, because these are the trades that I talked yesterday. So 70% said no. Guys, I'm done. Bye. Goodbye. It was fun doing this with you guys, but like I can't help you. I just simply can't. I can't. I'm done. Can't help you. Can't. Ha! Funny. Very funny. But seriously, what is it? How 71% of you 71% of you didn't take the trades? It's crazy. Why didn't you take the trades? I mean, I'm never, like I always say, do your own research and shit. But I mean, I teach you every single day here. I give everything on a silver platter and you don't take the trades. It's crazy. It's beyond me. Stay for the 30%. 83% profit on render from yesterday's show. Exactly. Greeting Chiefs. Zero cash to deploy. Okay, didn't have the money to take the trades. Okay, I understand that. Took the trades, didn't look so hot, so I closed early. Free money. 20% make more money, 80% lose money. PTSD, sorry Fefe. I'm out of cash. Got no money. Bad internet, sorry. I wish I had. Okay, I understand. Could have taken that trade on most of the coins. Who is Fefe? Fefe is the best, most amazing legend. The new kid on the block in crypto. Who you have to follow. I give you trades. I give you trades. I give you trades. I give you trades. No, but I also give you a lot of analysis on the market, daily news, everything you need. And if you don't know who Fefe is, now you do. I missed show yesterday. Worked. No money to buy with all logged. I did. Good. 700 on MBD. My man. My man. My man. My man. Yesterday I said, TJ, please send me the MBT short as well. So let me I just want to brag a little bit. That's honestly, that's what it is. You can come back in two minutes if you just think it's too much. So, oh, it's not updating. Hold on a second. This is not updating here. I see the chat rolling, but this is not updating. Was working 40% up. Thanks. Took a trade in ACT waiting. I closed ACT. That was what I'm gonna show you what I did. Just found the channel. Please don't stop. Larry, so happy. The next step, if you found the channel, is to follow me next. There's a link in the description to my Twitter. Out of cash soon. You can also scan this if you're on screen. Out of cash, Fefe, give us more trades. Will took the H bar using your OKX under your referral link. Thanks, boss. Thank you, legend. Are you trades still open? Yes, Fefe, give us shorts. Your say trade hit the stop price after 30 minutes. It didn't. It didn't. I don't know what exchange you used, but it didn't. I'm gonna show you in a second. Okay, let's jump in here. So this is what we did. So yesterday I said this is what it was. 4. This is render. Why is it doing that? Why is it 4? And then my stop loss is at 3 because of. So I set this up, right? I set this up on render. Let's see what render did. This is our trade on render. So we are up 5%. Was up to 1-to-1-3 risk reward. Liquidity taken. This is what I literally explained this to you on the show yesterday. Okay, let's see what this was. As well. Say, let's see. Here it is. There is no stop loss being hit. I even explained to you the reason I put my stop loss down here. So we're up on say as well. It's coming back to resistance. I'm gonna do the analysis, but I just want to tell you this trade is up. Then this was H bar. H bar is a good trade. I do think it's good. H bar. Here's the setting. This is the trade. It's already up like what? It's already 1-to-1.5. We're up on H bar as well. What else did we have? Accumulating. Virtuals. Virtuals is the only thing that I actually got stopped on. But if I had followed what I said, I wouldn't have been stopped. Don't dare to long this until I see confirmation. And the confirmation would be another liquidation, something like this, and then a higher high. If we do see a higher high here, I do think we're going to close below there. Anyway, and I said that a liquidation and a higher high, you can go back and watch the show. Virtuals. I entered in this. I didn't virtual USDT. This is literally my trade on virtual. Why? Because you go down to 5 minute. What did I say? I said we need to have a close. Where was the close? This would have been a close. This here. This here. Oh, I got stopped. Sorry. So I did say here. Okay, I did get stopped here. I did get stopped here because that was a high. No. I did get stopped here. Here, I got stopped here because this was not a close above. This was the close above. I got stopped here. So when was it? I entered around here. I got stopped here. And I was waiting for another one. Here, complete liquidation. What do I always tell you? 5 minute market structure shift, higher high. I got it on a 50% retrace and it made all back. Very simple. Like I literally gave you all of this. And then I just want to add one more thing. I am short. This is 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. We're short Pi with cause. Yeah, we're still just at around break even. We layered in. We're up here about, I don't even know why we're short. I think 1.8 something we're short here. But I'm shorting this. This is like proper. So I've been shorting Pi. Let me see where Pi is. At 1.76 was our entry. I told you I'm shorting Pi. 1.76 up here. Down 40% since. What else did we have? Let me just show you here. This is a short that you open and you don't let go. Tiny amount, but I'm probably shorting this to zero. Like, there's spot listing happening. People will be able to sell from air. So here I was explaining to you that the stop loss is, you don't really have stop loss. It's a risky thing and it's a very, very tiny amount. I ended up taking the short, but then didn't really follow up with it. So it's like a tiny amount for drops and whatnot. But still, what happened here, I was saying that you should just keep your stop loss open because as it goes, what is it called? BMT. It literally went just up. Where was the listing? Hold on a second. 2 point, no, where was it? Let me just see. 27. That's what I talked about. 27. 27. It was here. Somewhere here was the. Oh, it was this one. Yeah. Look at this. This is exactly what we talked about. If you just did what I said and actually followed through and didn't do something else like I did, just even if you just open it on the show, it's down 25% since then. So what I'm trying to say here is that, and I get, by the way, someone asked about XRP and what was the other trade that we took? What was the other trade we took? Akash, yes, that was one. This I closed. I'll tell you why I closed at break even. Because it didn't have the bounce that I was expecting it to have. It's still a very good trade. I closed it because I'm waiting for confirmation. And I don't want to gamble on this today because it can really fall. It's a massive stop loss as well. I do think this is going to be incredible, but I stopped this at break even. So I stopped this. I don't even know. I think I stopped it today morning or something. Maybe a tiny, like somewhere here. Like it was nothing. Not substantial. And I got stopped on XRP. Shitcoin, not even sure why I longed it at the first place. Oh, I didn't even tell you that I longed this. It wasn't even in the show. I just longed it myself. Yeah, I didn't tell you probably because I didn't want you to get wrecked like I did with this trade. So far, I just wanted to note this. And the reason why I brought this up here is because a lot of people complain and this and that, and they go and watch that, watch this. Like, I don't have a group yet, but I gave you 4 trades yesterday on the show. 3 of them massive profit. 1 you could have closed at break even. No, actually I gave you 5 trades, including virtuals. 3 of them I gave you exact entries, exact stop losses. All of them are up. I gave you 1 trade which got back to break even because you could have easily gotten out like I did. Even if you get out now, it's like a 2% loss, which is nothing. And I gave you virtual, which I told you exactly what I'm going to do. That was 1 stop and then up. So like I'm just telling you that you just literally have to come to the shows. Like honestly, and I give it to you all for free. This is why sometimes it bugs me that people pay so much money for different memberships that they get wrecked on and then they think they're the problem. Yet that's not the truth. And so anyway, it's just, yeah, just come to the show. It's really fucking that simple. Cool. Let me just read through the comments here. What is happening? Oh, I wanted to tell you one thing. I got questions when I tweeted this. I got questions like, am I not trading on Blowfin? Am I not trading on Albank and VX? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I have different portfolios and different trading styles. I have degen trading style where I have, cross margin, but I load it up with a smaller amount of money and then I don't risk on getting liquidated, and then I have larger portfolios. So because I was trading here on Bybit, the reason why I actually trade on Bybit larger portfolios is because there's a bunch of liquidity. So it's very good. The liquidity on Bybit is extremely good. So I've actually been very surprised if you compare it with other major tier 1 exchanges as well. Bybit has up their game, and their liquidity is quite great. So that's why. But if you can look around, like I use all other partners as well. I use non-KYC exchanges, all that. But if you want to stick with Bybit, I really like the fact that they have the card option as well, which means that you can trade and you can spend directly from your account. It's really, really cool, really convenient. There's a link in the description for our Bybit as well. But you have to use, so the way I use it is different exchanges, different purposes. Also, Bybit is quite slow in listing tokens. So, but if you want very good liquidity, this is the way to go. Okay. Let me just read through the comments here. Should we close BMT trade before? Honestly, I would just run it to zero. Like me with Pi. Run it to zero. Appreciate your efforts always. TR, yes, please, Ondo, yes. Fefe, we appreciate, you know that. I know that. People are stingy with the likes. Yeah, exactly. We have 806 likes. I'm giving you trades like crazy. And we've got 377 likes. It's fine. I'm over it. It's a tricky environment anyway. Yes, what's your expectation for today? So, let's talk about today. Trades still open. I closed 75% of all my trades. So let's go. By the way, this is also what I drafted, just so you know. On the total, I literally have it here. I said we're gonna have a drop from here. The total was up here at 2.66. I said we're gonna get a drop. We're going to get a market structure shift, which we have here. And then we're going to move on. This is exactly what is happening. And I told you this. And what I'm telling you now is that there is still a bunch of liquidity. And we are going to take it. Now, there are multiple... Let me just delete all this because I talked about this yesterday on the show. It's actually... You know what? It's actually beyond me how much value you guys get. But honestly, like without any being any cocky or anything, like I really realize sometimes I come here and you don't realize how difficult it is to pull a show out every single day. To come here, down the market, up the market, doesn't really matter. Just come and do a show and help the community make money when everybody else is losing. I could just sit down and do it on my own, you know. And I'm not being. I just became a little bit sad. I was just thinking about the likes. Is that it's like you don't understand how difficult it is to actually do this, and I do it for free for you guys. Like I literally come here. You have to pay nothing to actually just be here. I'm here Christmas. I'm here New Year's. I'm posting everything on my X for you to be able to make money. It's crazy. Yet 70-80% of people don't even take action. It's just wild. It's just wild. It really is. And this is why it's also cool. Like the $1 billion hustle. Like if you don't know what a $1 billion hustle is, it's our vlog, and I show my life. I show you how I live my life, how I make decisions, like all the stuff that I'm going through with my business, with Inventor. It's like there's a link in the description. But what I wanted to say with this is like, just take fucking action. Just take action. Just take action. Take action. Okay, let's go. Total analysis. So here's what I'm thinking. I think there's a bunch of liquidity built up. So very important to know, this here is a very strong high. Okay, very, very strong high on the 4 hour as well. On the hourly, this is like a strong level. If we have a 4 hour close above here, that signals a massive reversal, in my opinion, at least on the daily. So that would mean that we're going to go back all the way up here to the 2.81 as a first rejection point of interest, and possibly... Yeah, I mean, it's quite a decent, but all the way up here, possibly all the way up to the 2.93, you know? So this is going to be like a tricky situation here for breakthrough. If we have a 4 hour close above, the 2.72 on a total, I think it's a massive long, but you need to have the close above. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. I do see two scenarios. One, we should wick through and not close above on the 4 hour. That would be magical. That would be ideal. Even if we get a very good news, whatever, not close above and come a little bit lower down here and then take all this liquidity, go down to the 2.39, have the last dagger down and then move on. What I think ultimately will happen though is that, again, no one knows. This is, everything is driven by macro, and macro has a shit show with FOMC, which is dot plot. Like, as I explained at the beginning of the show, there's a bunch of things that you don't really understand and you don't really know, so we just have to wait and see and reflect on the things and then make decisions based on information available. I literally was just recording to the $1 Billion Hustle today, and I said, if you make decisions, you have to make every decision. So if you make a decision, you have to make sure that that decision that you make is the best decision based on the information available to you at the time. So if you make decisions based on the information that is available for you at a time, and you make the right decisions, right means that you put the effort in, you thought it through, and then it goes bad, you should not have any regrets because you couldn't have known what was coming, because you made the best decision based on the available information for you at a time. So the regret comes from the fact that you know the information available, you know what you should choose and do, and you don't do that. And then later on, when it turns out that, oh yeah, shit, I actually thought it was the way to go, and I didn't go that route, that's where regret comes in. It's very similar with trading as well. So if you know that you should not be trading now because this is FOMC, and you know that you will have decisions, you will have information to make decisions based on, why would you start trading now? This is why I closed 75% of my positions. Is there a possibility of me missing? Like, I'm up, I don't even know. Look at my virtual trade. Like, I'm up, I'm not even kidding. I'm up like, I was up here. I closed 75% here. It's a 1 to 5 risk reward trade. I was up, anyway, a lot of money. And I closed it. Do I think if we close above here, we go and reclaim all this? Yes. Would I miss out on a 50% pump? Yes. I mean, do I feel I'm going to miss out on it? No, because I'm going to get in here. So I'm not going to miss out on a 50% pump. But am I worried about it? No. No, I'm not worried about it. So the same situation. Here, we don't know. What I'm saying here is the following. I secured cash because I don't know what is going to happen. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm a trader. And I'm telling you that no one actually knows what's going to happen. If we've got a good reading, we are going to see a push. We will have to see a close above, and then we can reevaluate. But I want you to know that you are not late. You're not late. Even if you get in next week or the week after, you are not going to be late. Okay, don't feel the FOMO. So here's how I'm playing it. I closed most of my positions, and what I'm waiting for is a 4-hour close above this 2.72 trillion level. If that happens, we'll see what the dot plot is. We'll see what the rate cut decision is, which is going to be obviously no cut, but we'll see what JP says in the conference. And once that happens, I'll just make a new decision, and I'll let you know about my decision. Problem is that I have to see a 3.12 trillion break for me to confirm. Actually, what is it on the daily? Yeah, I mean, this would be enough. Honestly, like this here, this is not ideal, but this would be enough. Like if we break above and hold above the 3 trillion mark on the daily, it's game on. Until then, everything else is a chatter. You can take scalps, and a lot of times I round trip my bags because I didn't take profits on my scalps when they were supposed to be scalps. So now I'm just taking it. So ultimate projection, I don't know. No idea. Zero clue. I think what's going to happen is, based on the numbers, that JP is going to be much more dovish. I think the market is going to start pumping, and at some point we're going to reject from about 2.78, 2.80-ish, or all the way up here from like 2.9 something. And if we reject from there, then again, I'm just going to keep shorting this thing until I see a clearly dated break. And otherwise, I'm just not trading today. We'll reevaluate everything tomorrow. I have some news. Someone's saying, Fefe, let me just go back here. Your work doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you. Amazing show. Thank you. Fefe is like, I don't want to brag, but I will. Action Jackson in the house. You great, bro. Thank you. I'm going to take your trade today, bro. There is no trade today, bro. Nobody ever got broke taking profits, especially not on a scalp position. Rennie's doing an FOMC live. I simply can't, guys. I simply can't. I'm so swamped with everything. I simply can't do an FOMC live. No bit funded. Thank you. I'm so down. Smashed a lot, kid. How's Cuz? Cuz is good. His weenie is 1/4 of mine, so he's happy now. He's like, okay, I'm fulfilled. He's happy. He has to lay for like another couple of days, but he's happy. Okay, guys, I have some random news that I want to bring you as well because they are relevant. One is that no matter what you think, long-term holders accumulate. Crazy, 167,000 Bitcoin, nearly 14 billion in just 1 month. So just make sure that you understand the power behind Bitcoin and make sure that you keep accumulating. Raydium is launching its own version of PumpFun. Now, this is a response which happened from... PumpFun announced that they're going to have their own DEX, and Raydium, as the largest DEX on Solana, announced, okay, we're going to have our own PumpFun. Now, please note that it all comes back to customer acquisition. You don't even know that you're trading on Raydium because you use Jupiter, which is an aggregator. Maybe now you just realize that you actually trade a lot of times. You actually trade on Raydium, but you use Jupiter for execution. However, PumpFun already have the users, so I think it's much easier for PumpFun to implement a decentralized exchange than for a decentralized exchange like Raydium, that is the third layer that you use to implement the PumpFun and get people trading on there. But anyway, this is the news that came out. We'll see what comes out of it. Pi Network has released two-factor authentication for wallet confirmation that requires some pioneers to complete 2FA. Now, here's the thing: they're trying everything they can to keep the supply to keep the supply back, but they can't because we shorted it and it's going to zero. Pi is going to zero. This is my take. Trump releases 80,000 JFK assassination files. Now, AI is obviously running through all this, nothing new or very little new in there. I'm just waiting for the Epstein files, to be very honest with you. Like, I'm a little bit sour about the Epstein files, but it seems like there's some shady dark shit going on. But I hope it will be released somehow. And then Jensen Huang, who did the keynote on the GTC 2025 yesterday, which is the GPU technical conference that NVIDIA hosts. I wrote a complete thread about it, so you can go onto my profile. We'll try to link it as well in the description. But I wrote a whole thread about it with the videos and everything. I think it's pretty cool. I think you should go and check it out, what they are already doing with AI and robotics and where Jensen is thinking this whole thing will go. I think it's a very cool thread. Go and check that out. And that said, guys, I think it's time for me to call it a day. These comments are censored. Why? They're not. Oh, because it's top chat. This top chat. Hold on a second. This is live chat now. Hugo, brother, thank you. My comments don't come up. They come. They do. My comments also don't show up. They do. The Epstein files must be super juicy. I agree. In a bad way. NVIDIA rugged with that dog robot. Yeah. Don't think we'll ever actually see the real Epstein files. Yeah, I fear the same. Albank will give away Friday. It's gonna be Friday. That's nice. Any bit funded today? No. Thank you, guys. Guys, truly appreciate you, every single one of you. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel. Come back tomorrow. Make sure to follow me on X. There's a link in the description. Go and check out the $1 Billion Hustle for mindset stuff. Go and check it out. I promise you won't regret it. And check out these two videos. Click here to subscribe. And come back tomorrow. Take care tonight. Don't get wrecked. And I believe I'll see you in the next one. Take care.